more than 400. And then there is also the research groups that they are registered in the CNPq, and we can have some idea of number of research groups and so on. So things are going, number of doctors also is increasing, so everything is going up. And that are the fellowships that are distributed by CNPq and by CAPES, because they have some overlap of kind of fellowship that they are distributing. And the number of masters and the doctors, so everything is going really fine. But now we start to look for the question that she has raised. How are the committees? How is that are the evaluating committees, and how is the representation of women in these committees? You see that in human science is 50%. That's, I think, it's less than the number of percent of women, but it's quite nice. Life science 22. But if these are the women in different areas, so it's not bad. And that's the leadership distribution with age and gender. And I think the woman there, it's also going quite well in this respect. And we also now have the number of leading groups of women per area. And then you start to see some difference, but here it's not anything so dramatic as we have seen before. And that is the distribution by different kind of fellowship. Iniciação científica is undergraduate students, master and doctor and so. And we see that the participation of women is very good and even increasing, I would say, significantly. And now Brazil has now that's the fellowship given by CNPq for different categories, you know, master, research, and I will call your attention for this kind of fellowship, that it's given only for the researchers that have a very good output in publication and student advice and so on. And then when you come here, then the things starts to be a bit different, but that's still the percentage of something may be wrong here, but let's go on. Okay, and now in these fellowships we have different levels. So 1A is the top level. And when you start to see that in all the areas, you see that the number of women in 1A is, let's say, half of the number of percent of what they are participating. So they are less. And that's something that was done with a colleague of mine, because in 2006, we just make a list of number of researchers that have this fellowship, and that's the number of publications that they have. And you see that in the first level, that's somehow almost very clear where they are. But if you go to the last one, that's very, very broad. And I can tell you that some of these researchers that are here, that mean that have an enormous number of publications, and this one here, I would say, I'm almost sure that there are 2 women, no, that could be promoted, but they stay there for a long time. And now, if we look to the participation of women in these committees of that evaluated, then we again go bad in engineering, exact science, and earth science. So we are down 5%. But it seems that only 5% of the women on this area are good. Because if you go to other place, I don't know if it's the same 5%, but anyhow, that's what's still there. And now that's the distribution of women in Brazilian Academy of Science. And we see here that engineering is below 4%, earth science 5%, physics 6%, and so I think somehow reproduce all the the other, but I cannot dare to suggest how they can increase these numbers. And now I would just want to tell you something. Petrobras is a big company, oil company in Brazil, very famous. And I was told, let's say, coming from a conference, and I have one lady that worked there, and she told me that in the 60s, they were not allowed to apply for position in Petrobras. And they need to go to the court to be able to apply for position in Petrobras. And they said there was not a good place for women, and so and so. But nowadays, she told me that all this platform, they are fantastic, and they have plenty of women, and so on. So here, you should find some. But what are the reasons for this, somehow? You know? We cannot say that it's something that's a prejudice against women. Of course, not the case. And there is many reasons that can, let's say, contribute for this situation. And I will just ask you to read of that. And I even would say that some of these points has to do with the women's self. We cannot say that they want to be all and they are not. As some women don't want to have a career. Some women don't want to leave the family, so they want to work in a low profile. But that are not all. So, but we should admit that this also can and of course, all these things bring it to something that I think is very important. That's low self-esteem. As you said, if the women believe they cannot do something, they will not achieve. So that's one of the. And okay, going from this private to public situation, how is going to the women? And I think the science is somehow gaining with this, because they are contributing to the development of science. And I think a bit change in the male face of science. But it's very difficult, because even I know many women that could make a kind of whole, have a model role, and they don't like to go. They don't like to go to the TV. They don't like. So and we should look for the one that like to do that and are good, and try to expose them. You know? And we have this famous glass ceiling that I am afraid that is something that we need to do and try to break this with the help with our colleagues. You know, that so somehow we repeat what is already known, but it's, I think, a joint effort that should be done so that we can try to break this. And the other problem is the old story of balancing family and career, and that's not an easy task. You know, I have two children, two girls, and I was working in the high TC material some years ago, and for me it was very difficult to explain them why I bring her from the kinder care and put them to sleep and go back to work again. You know, so when they were sitting together, and I told them, you know, for your mother, the work is like ice cream for you. As much as you eat, more you like. So that's how I feel. And I think at least they should get some feeling that we really enjoy the work, and that we somehow keep some of their time to do that. And now there's the question, we are bringing up girls, and I think this should be changed, because we always say for the girls, stay clean, and the boy, they can get dirty, and the girls should be always organized, and we accept that the boys are not. Some time we give tools and things for the boy to study, to play, and not for the girls. So I think all this is something that should be changed, because it's there that the whole thing starts, and I don't know, and I think the teacher, the education is very important to complement and to change all these things. And so let me escape this, because I think maybe that's something also that we in a conference that, you know, and, okay, nothing against the